Hello and welcome back to another Premier League video where this time I'm talking about Matchday 29 games that were played throughout the weekend and one Monday game, hence I'm doing this video on Tuesday. But without further ado, there were lots of, 5-goal games, 2 of them, and 1 6-goal game, so some goals, no goalless draws. And first game was between Manchester City and Liverpool. And no Friday games. This began on Saturday, and City, they still are 8 points behind Arsenal, even though they won Liverpool 4-1. But yes, they still have a chance at winning the title thanks to this win. And it didn't start well because Mohamed Salah scored for Liverpool to make the game 1-0. But after that, it was all City, at least goal scoring wise, and definitely at the end of the game, Liverpool were just exhausted, and really Manchester City toyed with them in about last 20 minutes of the game. But Julian Alvarez, who was there because Erling Haaland is injured, he did pretty well, scored 1 goal. Also De Bruyne and Gündogan and also Grealish, who had a great game for City. That was the reason. Grealish having a great game. Mahrez had a good game. Others, City as a team, they had a great game, and 4-1 win there. And let's see how this affects both teams. City obviously still trying to win the title. I'm not sure how likely that is, but it's still a possibility if Arsenal fails to get points. Liverpool, their top 4 chances take a hit with this, and there's definitely some separation can be seen with first and second, and then places 3 to 5, and then others, and the relegation battle between 12th and 20th team is quite intense. So teams start to separate. For one reason for that is Bournemouth Fulham, because Fulham failed to get points here, and I think Fulham, they will be disappointed with this result, especially because it started with Andreas Pereira scoring for them, and 1-0, similar story to Manchester City, even though not that many goals, but a comeback here as well. There were some comebacks in this match day 29 Premier League. Marcus Tavernier with a brilliant goal there, and 1-1 game there. And then Solanke, both Tavernier and Solanke, 4th goal of the season for both of them. Important goals for Bournemouth as they are in the relegation battle in the middle of it. And Bournemouth get 3 points, and important ones there. Then Nottingham Forest, Wolverhampton, 1-1 game there. And interesting result because, both teams would have wanted 3, and with both teams getting only 1 point, that means that the relegation battle is truly ongoing. As I said, if I remember correctly, it's something like 7 or 8 point difference between 12th and 20th place. So it's really interesting, the battle between those teams. And Brennan Johnson, who's having quite a good season, the young Welshman, 8th goal of the season for Nottingham Forest, and for him, 8th goal of the season. Daniel Podes made the game 1-1, and that was the reason why Nottingham Forest didn't get 3 points that they would have really wanted. And let's see if this could prove to be valuable point for each of the teams if they both were to survive until next season in Premier League. Then Crystal Palace faced Leicester, 2-1 game there. And another comeback because Ricardo Pereira scored in the second half to make the game 1-0, away from home for Leicester. So quite many comebacks, one of them here as well, because Iversen on goal, at least it's marked to that. And then Mateta also 90 plus 4th minute of added time, really not great for Leicester. And this was the match that, it was the reason why Brendan Rodgers got sacked. And let's see if Leicester do better after the coaching change. Obviously, under Brendan Rodgers, they have had some highs this year, definitely a low point for Leicester. And they have to do something they had to do something they were 19th and are 19th right now in the league before the midweek game start. Then Arsenal faced Leeds, 4-1 game there. Only goal scorer for Leeds was Christensen, and Arsenal big factor in this win is that Gabriel Jesus back in the starting lineup, and he earned a penalty and scored a couple goals, first from penalty spot and second from open play, and White and Xhaka also were the goal scorers. Granit Xhaka is really having quite a season with Arsenal this year, and Arsenal as a team, they are doing just great, and 8 points clear of Manchester City as I mentioned, and really no other challengers than City for the league title this year, and I could see Arsenal winning the league title. Other than that, if they stumble, they may struggle to win it, but it's looking great for them right now. Then Brighton, Brentford, 3-3 game there, and 3 goals for both of the teams, and as you can see here, it started Pontus Jansson scored the first goal, the Swedish centre back, and then it was quite a comeback, you could say, but also goals for each team, and back and forth game there, and I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the preview, but I thought this would be an interesting game because both teams had done quite well so far this season, and it ended up being 3-3 game. Mitoma scored to make the game 1-1 after I believe it was goalkeeper assist for Brighton. Then Ivan Toney, 17th goal of the season. Just career year for him with Brentford, I believe so. Maybe next season could be even better, but this season he's just amazing, third in the goal scoring list right now. Ethan Pinnock scored to make the game 3-1, and 2 centre backs scored, but that wasn't enough. I forgot to mention before that Danny Welbeck had scored to make the game 2-2, and 2-3. It was back and forth, and in the end Alexis McAllister, Argentinian, managed to make the game 3-3 from penalty spot, and Brighton, valuable point for them. They could have not got any points, but valuable point since they are trying to get into European positions for next year. And Brentford, at least they got point against Brighton, who have done quite well at home this year. Then Chelsea and Aston Villa, 2-0 for Chelsea, 2-0 for Aston Villa. I can't believe that Chelsea lost. I had to say 2-0 for Chelsea, but Ollie Watkins, 18th minute strike, and Chelsea, what is going on? They sack Graham Potter now, and John McGinn scored to make the game 2-0, and as I said, Aston Villa made the Chelsea manager go. Let's see who comes in place for Potter, and but Aston Villa, important points for them, and I believe they are now ahead of Chelsea in the standings. I believe Chelsea were 10th and Aston Villa 11th, but I think Aston Villa jumped past them with this win, if I remember correctly. Then West Ham and Southampton, 1-0 game there for West Ham, and important points against worst team in the league right now, but not by far, Southampton. And centre back, there were some unlikely goal scorers in this match day, and Aguerd, the Moroccan international centre back, he scored his first goal of the season, and that header could be valuable for West Ham because they've struggled all year. Maybe these 3 points could be important for them when looking at the end of the season. These could be the points that save them from relegation. Whereas Southampton, they could look at this that this might be the one match that if they got points, they might get relegated because of this. Then Newcastle and Manchester United, 2-0 game there, and United, they drop in the standings to 5th, and Newcastle jump up to 3rd, and they get their revenge. Obviously they would have wanted to win the Carabao Cup, but Man United lose this game. Let's see what changes will be there for next match. I would think at least some, because Willock scored to make the game 1-0, and that wasn't enough for Newcastle, because 88th minute Callum Wilson scored to make the game 2-0. And yeah, important 3 points for Newcastle as they continue to strengthen their chances of getting into top 4 and staying there. And Man United, you have to wonder if this is going to be the loss that is between them and Champions League spot for next year. Then 1-1 between Everton and Spurs, and yeah, this was an interesting game. Featured the only red cards in this match day, at least what I remember. Harry Kane started the goal scoring, Michael Keane fouled him. Keane really had an interesting game because, well, he scored an absolute stunner from the long range, a 90-minute strike. And yeah, 1 point for Everton, but valuable one against Spurs. But Sean Dyche probably isn't too happy because Ducour got a red card, but also, Lucas Moura got a red card for Spurs. And yeah, interesting results there. And yeah, let me know your thoughts about this match day in the comments down below. Were you surprised by any of these results? And why if you were, and hit the like and subscribe for more Premier League content and football content, and have a nice day.